governor yesterday said more human impactful projects will be commissioned before the end of his administration. Now, as an Akwa Ibom, first and foremost, how do you feel that we are 35 years as a people since the creation of the state?
Let me use this opportunity once again to congratulate the governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Mr. Odun Emmanuel, and his team, and everyone who are from Akwa Ibom and our well-wishers, including those who have saved the state as administrators and those who have saved as past governors. Akwa Ibom at 35, I will say that the state has made a lot of improvement. I normally assess the state growth when we came into democratic dispensation beginning from 1999. Why do I always assess it from this period? Because this is when you can actually hold the government accountable. This is when you say you have the people's government that can actually speak the tone, the languages of the people. The other administrations, we are military government, you cannot actually hold them accountable. You do not have the law-making arm of the government, so nobody can actually account to what came into the government and how the government utilized those funds. But from the 1999 till today, we have been able to track our government project and know how much came into the states and know how the funds are used. Now, from 1999 till 2007, the Obamota administration came up with a master plan for Akwa Ibom State, designed several projects, allocate them to various areas in the state, across the states. Some of them, were the Meridian project, the Meridian, which is today Ibom Icon Hotel, the Victor Atai International Airport. You have the AXU, that is Akwa Ibom State University, which was then known as the CRUTEC, Akwa Ibom State Science and Tech University. Then you have the motor parks that were built in, one at Nongodo, one at the Abak Road end, one at Itam. And this were to decongest the motor parks within the city. And then he designed the plaza. And so you have several projects littered across the states. After the Otas government, you had the Obong Barrister Godswill Akpabio's administration from 2007 to 2015. Obong Akpabio had also built on Obong Ota's administration project. The only project that I can say that the Akpabio's government did not take over or inherit from the Atas government was the Science Park project. But every other project that the Atas government initiated, such as like the Le Meridian, which is now the Ibom Icon, the airport project, and several other projects that the Atas government initiated were taken over by the government that came after him, which is government of Akpabio, and built Edet. Akpabio had led several projects, like you talk about the 4 Point by Sheraton Hotel, the e-library, the shopping mall, that is the Tropicana, which is now the Market Square, and a lot of other projects across the state, road projects, flyover here and there. And after the Akpabio's government, you had the Mr. Emmanuel's government came on board from 2015 till date, and the government has also built on the Akpabio's project. Like the Market Square today was it was Akpabio's dream project, which is today taken over by the government and handed over to private sector, which is now the Market Square. The e-library today has been handed over to private sector, which was the Akpabio's government, Akpabio's initiative. The 4 Point Bashiratan Hotel, this government has also inherited it and is working towards completing it. The Uyo Road, this government took over from where Akpabio government stopped and completed it and commissioned it and put to use. Several other projects across the state. Now, I took time to explain that we have a continuity of projects in the state. Why do we have abandoned projects? Is when a government, initiate a project and bring in politics into it. The Science Park project is one project that would have, created more employment for the people of the state, but politics came into it, and that is why that is why the Akpabio's government, did not, take it serious. He left it at the level it was. The government of Mr. Emmanuel came on board and brought in another company that want to come and build on it, but the COVID-19 pandemic came and caught up with the project. So several other projects that are there on board, and I pray that this project will be completed. We in CLO, we took pains to go around the state to see what the governor has done in 7 years, and I tell you that we saw over 55 roads across the 31 local government areas. We saw the industries that the governor initiated. We went around it and we were comfortable that people have been employed. But mostly, the indigenous of the state play politics by asking petty questions such as, why are these industries sited in Ona? Why is it this? Who is the owner? Like the Ibom Air that came on board, instead of us to utilize the opportunity and get trained as captains, as air stewards, air hostess, and the rest, we are busy talking about the politics of who is the owner of Ibom Air, who is the owner of the flour and meal company, who is the owner of the syringe factory. Why these projects are in this state that we should catch into it. The Mishak automobile plant that will be building cars in this state have been completed. I think they will be sending over 20 persons to Israel for training, courtesy the partnership that they have with the state government. They have done the screening. They have selected those that will be going for the training. All these are done under the government of Udo Emmanuel. I'm not here to blow his trumpet, but because we engage in constructive criticisms, we criticize based on fact, I can say that we are satisfied so far where the state is as a state under Governor Emmanuel, under Obongota, and under Goswile Akpabio.
All right, thank you very much. But let's look at the sidelines of the reactions coming from a cross-section of Akwa Ibom State. We know that the present administration has been involved in a lot of projects and has carried out a lot of projects. But one of the things that one cannot neglect, seeing as the state celebrated its 35th anniversary, is the fact that the Oron axis has significantly seemed to have been relegated to the back, as often cited by some quarters. And you recall that the only access road leading to Oron is presently still under construction. And so far, the governor has not told the people of Oron if that road would also be completed for usage before the end of his administration. So far, the statement has not come from the government. And of course, you know that the road has been under construction for quite a good number of years, almost 7 years, and still running. Now, in this regard, there have also been another call from a cross-section of Akwa Ibom people that infrastructural development should not be centered on the city in the immediate Uyo surrounding and the suburbs, while the interior or the sub-local government areas remained in gross abandonment. You also had sections of, particularly coming from the eastern Obolo, where they've also decried the fact that they have been marginalized in terms of infrastructural development from this present administration and successive administration. Now, as a person who is actively involved in, negotiations for the overall interest of the well-being, how would you react to this outcry by some sections of Akwa Ibom people?
It is not out of place. Their agitations are obvious and they are acknowledged. We, during the tour that the CLO embarked upon to track the government project, we complained about the Insidetai Okobo road. I believe that is the one you're talking about, the only road that leads to Oron from this axis. You also have the east-west road that comes from Eket.
Yes, that's another road that is still
that is the federal government road that has been abandoned. So the CLO decried the fact that particular, the Insidetai Okobo road has been taken more than necessary. Let me state that when the former Commissioner for Works, Ifrem Inyarayen, went to the House of Assembly to defend the budget of the ministry, I remember Right Honorable Mark said, the member representing Israel, taking upon him, asking him, putting him on the task as to why that road has been delayed. And he gave his own side of the story, and then the House of Assembly gave a marching order that road be completed. But the pains I have in this state is what CLO is doing. If we have an assembly that is doing the same, if we have a House of Assembly that is very active, that will be on the street, not only when you have budget proposal before you, you now begin to cross-check if the budget if what you have in the budget has been done by going to check project of the government. If the assembly have been carrying out the oversight functions by going on the street, going on the road, going to places, they would have been able to mandate or direct the government to do what the government needs to do based on what is available in the budget. So the Inside Tayakobo Road has delayed more than necessary, and we don't know why it has delayed. Last time we went there doing our project tracking, we saw the engineer handling the project, and we asked him, what is the challenge? Have you not been funded? Is it funds or what? And the man actually did not give us a satisfactory response. But beyond that, in Oro Nation as a whole, apart from Morocco, that I can say that we did not see a project. The other local government areas in Oron, we saw projects that were built by this government, and I believe that the government will be going around to commission them.
All right, thank you very much. Let's jump to the basic motions that we have on the floor of the House now. Census 2023 is around the corner, and the Census Commission, the National Population Commission, had told the Nigerian people that the census that will be conducted in the year 2023 is meant to ensure that we can authoritatively know the exact number of people that we have in Nigeria, so as to help government and other relevant agencies to know how to plan in the overall best interests of the Nigerian people. Now, they've also told us that the census will demarcate covering the entire territories space of Nigeria using mobile handheld devices and geographical information system GIS and satellite imageries to create the digital census map, and of course use a lot of technology to ensure that at the end of the day the total number of people we have is exactly the total number of people that Nigeria has. And now, presently, it is projected that the population of Nigeria is over 216 million plus in Nigeria across the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. Now, in the bid for preparations, we know there have been ongoing meetings between relevant government agencies within and outside the state. And we understand that CLO has been having some meetings with the commission in Akwa Ibom State and the stakeholders in Akwa Ibom State ahead of the summit that is planned. Can you bring parliamentarians and, of course, Akwa Ibomites up to speed with the current development in the subsector?
The National Population Commission is a body mandated by law, by our constitution, to carry out head count of persons in Nigeria so as to enable the government to know how many persons we are, and that will also help in national planning and budgeting. Don't forget that when the government or when the federal government want to share allocations to states, one thing that is very key, the key determinant in what goes to a state is population. Most times you will hear the people from the north saying they are much in number than us. If you want to ask for a state creation, what will be used as a factor will be the number of your people. If you want to ask for local government creation, for ward creation, same thing. Even village creation, same thing. So National Population Commission will be having a stakeholders meeting on Wednesday, that is tomorrow, at the Akwa Hall in Government House, where they will be discussing issues that centers around 2023 census that is coming on April. The CLO yesterday had a meeting with the federal commissioner of the commission, that is Engineer Otuekong, and he took time to explain to us that the National Stakeholders Summit took place at the Aso Rock Villa, where President Buhari chaired it and declared it open on the 11th of August this year. And so now the entire states are asked, the state commissions are asked to go and have state summit. So what this summit intends to achieve is to create public awareness on the conduct of the 2023 census, including its imperatives, methodology, and timeline. They will also promote robust and informed conversation on the process and procedure for the census that will be carried out in the state. And then they will to provide a veritable platform to offer clarification and receive feedback and suggestions on salient issues and concerns related to the conduct of the census that will be taking place in this country. So I want to say that Akwa Ibom people should be part of it. The state government should be part of it. I want to call on the state government to support the commission to achieve this success in this state. Now, let me tell you this: if we play like a radical attitude and feel as if we're not part of what is happening in the Census Commission, at the end of the day, census will be carried out. By the time it is done, when your state is shortchanged, the highest thing you do is to go to court or go on appeal. But instead of spending money, taking lawyers to go to court and begin to make agitations, make campaigns, protest here and there, you can start now. Take those energies, those resources, involve, engage, create awareness that your people should be aware. The village heads, the youth leaders, town criers, paramount rulers, clan heads, commissioners, and chairmen of councils should be all involved in ensuring that we have a successful census in 2023, that we should be counted for, and we should be counted and let our figure be known, not just being shortchanged. We should get the actual figure of who we are and how many we are in Akwa Ibom State, so that by the time the figure will be published, nobody will go and dispute it anywhere.
Indeed, that is a very necessary action that must be taken by not just the government, but also all relevant government agencies. And indeed, the people, I recall in 2006, I was part of the ad hoc staff of the Census, and one of the problems we saw was the fact that you step into a household, for instance, and you get to find it that parents who know for sure their children are not around, or even people who have children outside, the state didn't thought it wise to bring their children home. The national did not allow or give room for a situation where you get to say, okay, I have 6 children. They want to see those 6 children. Okay, I have 6 children, and those 6 children have two children each. They want to see the children and the children they have before they can be documented. So how, I think it's about time we take our first recess. But when I come back, I'd like for you to answer as to how we as a people in Akwa Ibom State, what responsibility we have, and we must ensure so that we have the exact number of people when we go into 2023 when the census gets conducted and done. But right about now, parliamentarians will take our first recess and head out to take news on the hour of 9. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussions on the floor of the House. Please stay with us.
Good morning. This is the news update at 9. Federal government of Nigeria makes U-turn, withdraws order to reopen varsities. JAM set new guidelines for UTME. Former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, inaugurates 29-kilometer long Etinandoneyo Road as part of activities marking 35th anniversary of the Akwa Ibom State. On the foreign scene, North Korea sounds warning as U.S., South Korea begins naval drills. Sports Tyson Fury says fight with Anthony Joshua is off. And that's the news updates for this hour. I am Dara Udoma.
This is Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. Our listeners are our most valuable assets, the bedrock of our business, the reason for our existence all these years. Thank you for your patronage and listenership. For inquiries, please call us on 0809 016 9101 or write to us at planet101fm@gmail.com.
It's simple. We lead, they follow. Planet 101.1 FM. That's just who we are.
This is the story of two friends who lived in the same neighborhood, Smart and Lucky. Lucky didn't accept the COVID-19 vaccine and stopped everyone in his house from being vaccinated. Before you can say Jack Robinson, there was a COVID-19 outbreak in the area. Lucky and 2 members of his family got infected. Lucky was sick and couldn't do his business for months. Now, even food to chop no day. His nephew got very sick. It didn't end well at all.
We did all we could, but it didn't make it.
But Smart's case did different. Everybody in his family was vaccinated. Only one person got infected and his symptoms were minor. Who would you rather be, Smart or Lucky?
Protect yourself, family, friends, and community from COVID-19. Get vaccinated sharply.
Do it for love.
Do it for love.
Do it for love.
Glad to welcome you back to the floor of the plenary this morning. In case you're just joining us as a parliamentarian, of course, you know this is the right platform where you get to make meaningful contributions to the advancement and development of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, Africa, and the world as a global village. And of course, today, as a way of reminding those who might just be joining our conversation this morning on the floor of the House, we have a National Census 2023. CLO parleys National Population Commission ahead of Akwa Ibom Stakeholders Summit. An INEC leaves banned and political campaigns Wednesday, 28 September 2022, unveils ground rules for hitch-free issues-based campaigns. What are the expectations, or what should we be expecting from political parties? And the third but not the last, federal government reverses varsities reopening order. Those are the three motions that we have on the floor of the House this morning. And the number to call is 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. You can join us also on a verified Facebook page at Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo to make your contributions. And we have parliamentarian Otuekong Franklyn in the House. Let's kickstart more conversation by welcoming parliamentarians via the phone line. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Yeah, this is Patrick calling from here.
All right, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm so surprised when the Franklyn Isong become a spokesperson to this present government. He's talking about the science park that Akwa abandoned it, and this present government has awarded the contract and the COVID-19. I'm so surprised Franklyn Isong will talk about COVID-19 still in Akwa Ibom now. So the contract because of COVID-19 that have happened to, instead of you as a CEO to come up late and say that this present government that abandoned that contract, this government is gone, and you are giving excuses. And you don't even talk of that, you just go and do that you are passing. You don't make any comment about that if you have to road as a CLO. You don't make any comment about the retirees that are dying every day in Akwa Ibom State. The government spends over 11 billion towards the center. What is the duty of the CLO? It's the duty of CLO to bring praises to government. It is very wrong, Franklyn wrong. I don't expect this from you.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarian. I'm sure Otuekong Franklyn is going to respond to you, but right now let's join the commissioner responsible for the commission in Akwa Ibom State. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. Welcome to the People's Parliament. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
All right. For the purpose of letting parliamentarians get to know your personality, could you help us introduce yourself on the floor of the House?
Thank you very much. I am Chief Engineer Benedict Upong, fellow Nigeria Institute of Engineers, Ugudoro, and by God's grace, Honorable Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, representing Akwa Ibom State.
All right. We understand that there have been some underground preparations towards positioning Akwa Ibom State for the forthcoming national census, which seeks to ensure that we have the exact number of people in Nigeria. And of course, Akwa Ibom is part of that. Now, I have been privy to being part of Census 2006 as an ad hoc staff. And I know that some of the issues we face were the fact that the persons who came from the national did not allow for the counting of people who were not physically present Now, what is the commission as you're preparing to engage stakeholders and Akwa Ibom people? What is your preparation to ensure that every household is properly accounted for and documented?
Thank you very, very much. And I want to appreciate you for having participated in the last census exercise. And even the use of the word household shows that you are experienced in that field. Thank you for that. I want to say that we in the National Population Commission, in the whole country, and Akwa Ibom State in particular, are well preparing for the forthcoming April 2023 census. Here in Akwa Ibom State, to bring everybody to speak and on the same table, we are going to have a Akwa Ibom State Stakeholders Summit in respect of the forthcoming 2023 census. That event will take place tomorrow in Akpan Assembly Hall in the Government House, Uyo. And the stakeholders have been invited, and it's on invitation. It's not come one, come all. So those stakeholders are please enjoined to attend. Also to be in attendance are all the local government chairmen, all the commissioners, all the Senate Assembly members, all the paramount rulers. Every local government paramount ruler is invited, and the chairman of Akwa Ibom Council of Chiefs. So you can see that the setup is a huge one, and that preparation is flowing from the National Stakeholders Summit we had at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, which Mr. President himself presided over. So that's the impetus, and that's why we are hoping that tomorrow the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Deacon Udonge Emmanuel, will preside over tomorrow's event in the Government House. So that's where we are, and internally we in the Commission, we've made arrangements for the logistics, for the personnel, for everybody, so that Akwa Ibom people must be counted. And coming to your question, you say this time around, every house in Akwa Ibom, every household will be counted and enumerated. So there's nobody from national or anybody that will stop us from doing our work. So we are representing Akwa Ibom State very, very well in the commission. Thank you very much.
All right, let me quickly ask. I know there probably are lined up of activities after the stakeholders meeting, but what modalities are put in place to enlighten Akwa Ibom people? Because one of the other issues that we often face, just like we have voters' apathy, is the fact that some people are misled to think that being counted or availing themselves to be counted does not necessarily or will not translate into them benefiting from government programs, and therefore a lot of people shy away from presenting themselves from the activities. What are the modalities that the Commission would put in place or plans to put in place to ensure that everybody, avail themselves the opportunity to be counted?
The major element is advocacy and publicity. And that is why I want to really use this medium to thank the chairman of the Civil Liberties Organization, Otuekong, Franklyn, Isong, because it was only yesterday we signed a partnership agreement, a kind of advocacy, with them, and today we are already doing this work. So the main thing we are doing is advocacy, and we have been doing that in all our programs before now, and we shall continue to do that. And that is why, like I've said, as part of the advocacy and sensitization, we are meeting with cross-section of Akwa Ibom, not less than 3 persons per local government area, attending that summit tomorrow. And all the local government chairmen and all the parliament rulers. So, and the message for Akwa Ibom people is that, okay, going forward, we shall take the message down to the grassroots, to the various local government areas, to the households. Then the benefit of census is very enormous. planning, and the planning without data is like planning without ambition. So that is what we are doing. So the essence of census, it will help Akwa Ibom people for their economic development. So it is data you need for planning. Census is not just about resources, in the sense that it is based on the population we have, that according to the population, according to the Constitution, it's an indices for revenue sharing. That is one. But in addition to that, the population is also a function of, creation of constituency and all of you. It's very important. That's number two. But the critical aspect is that we use the data to know our social infrastructure, to know our infrastructural facilities, to know the roads to your place. Do you have road? If you don't have road, the data will be there. Then the government coming or sitting government will not know how to provide road. Do you have health center? Do you have education? Do you have facilities? So those data will be obtained during the census. It's not just about counting. It's about a whole gamut of data concerning the living standard of the population, of the households. So it's a lot of work to be done, and it's beneficial to every Akwa Ibom person. And that's why we should present ourselves to be counted. And that's how we said, you can't be counted. That's the slogan of this census. You can't be counted. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. On that note, I'd like to briefly say that we appreciate the work that you're doing. And of course, we hope that all the agendas and lined up of activities put forward by the Commission will help the Akwa Ibom people to get to take the right decision and be part of the 2023 census in the overall interest of us all as a state. And also, probably we'll be speaking with the CLO chairman after this program to see how we can be a part of what is happening, because the People's Parliament will always want to let the people have first-hand information.
You're invited. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, and do have a lovely day.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was the man in charge of the Census Commission in Akwa Ibom State, and of course giving us update as to the plans and preparation for the forthcoming 2023 census. It's been a very well detailed information for us as parliamentarians and as a people in Akwa Ibom State. And it's very important that we also know that census is in the overall best interest of all of us as a people. I mean, you can't afford to not be counted. And we cannot always shy away from doing our due duties to the state, duty to the country, especially when it helps and will help in development and advancement as a people. But right about now, we welcome parliamentarians to make more contributions on the floor of the House. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, the case in the House. Good morning, all the parliamentarians. My name is Talent. I come from Uyo. Mr. Speaker, this morning concerning Akwa Ibom at 35. Mr. Speaker, yesterday we were aware that the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, was in town to commission the Oneyo. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I believe Sibanjo had commissioned that road during the first time. Mr. Speaker, some of the projects they commissioned is 2 times. I want to ask the state government why some projects have been commissioned twice. Mr. Speaker, concerning the impactful legacy, there is a billboard at the Waniba roundabout. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask question. I believe the government should finish project before the billboard. Or are we celebrating billboard now, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, concerning the retirees, what are we celebrating? We let the retirees have the people that work for the state for the past 25 years. Instead of celebrate them, we celebrate outsiders. Mr. Speaker, concerning Akwa Ibom, I want to plead with my governor to at least come to the native of Itu. Ibom. There is no road. Every day is no Esinan. Every time there is no Esinan. What are we doing? Please, the governor should come to the head of Itu Ikono. We need road. Mr. Speaker, this morning, I want to appreciate the man that is going to conduct the census. We welcome census so that we know how many are we in Akwa Ibom? That's my take. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarians. And of course, your contributions have been well noted, and very sure the government is listening. And of course, we've also noted it down. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Yeah, good morning to you and every other person in the studio.
Yes,
my
good
name
morning,
is Mr.
parliamentarian.
Edet. Yes, my name is Mr. Edet from Uyo.
Go on, the floor is yours.
I want to, while we are busy celebrating the commissioning of roads here and there, I want to once again draw the attention of government to the infrastructure, the hospitals, the hospital that is closer to the poor people in the local areas. That those are the areas that need more attention. For example, the experience I had in the Ekenan General Hospital, where we have good equipment, bed facilities, yet the toilet is no generator to pump water for the hospital. Today we can see that the government have been able to afford giant diesel generator to light up the streets and facilitate these waterfalls on the street. I'm pleading with government that they should provide generator that can pump water. Most times you cannot use toilet there, but they have good facilities, water system toilets, but there is no water. Please, they should look into that. It's very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, parliamentarian, for your contributions this morning. Very well noted. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the floor of the House. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian. Welcome to the plenary.
My name is Anek Ansani. I'm calling from Uyo. In the spirit of Akwa Ibom State at 30, I want to congratulate the government of Akwa Ibom at 85. I want to congratulate the government of Akwa Ibom State on the strides that he has made so far in development and every other sector in Akwa Ibom State. The kudos to him because the governor has come to change the narrative and has shown us that voted and stood by him then in 2015 that he is able and was a lot of things to offer to Akwa Ibom people. To the matter of today, the national census, I think it is a responsibility of every person, every individual who have the interest of the nation at heart. And as such, I believe everyone, by what we are doing and what the Otuekong is saying in the studio, everyone should take a personal responsibility and see to it that no matter how far your child or any of your relatives is, because we need to have a data that we can bank on and we can at all times refer to whenever we are planning. Order their children to be home during the census. And everyone should take part because by that we can as a force, as a state, as the national what we want. And by that they can look at us and know our numbers and know what really to accrue to Akwa Ibom State. So it's high time the national, the subnational, the village, individual accept and agree to take part and make sure we have a successful census come 2023. Thank you for having me. I see you, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, parliamentarians, for joining us this morning. Indeed, points well stated that we all as a people need to rise up to the occasion and be part of what is happening. And unless we get to know the exact number, the exact strength that we have as a people, it's going to become a little bit difficult for us to draw the attention of the government to our issues, to our needs as a people, and that is very critical. More comments before we move to comments on our Facebook page. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, Otuekong, Franklyn, Isong.
Good morning.
I am the Franklyn. I'm calling from you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is a good thing for us to know our population as people. I commend the National Population Commission for this move. I have seen their moves is a positive, and they are moving so swift that I have that confidence that the 2023 census is going to be successful, because I was part of the just concluded area demarcation exercise. So I saw what they did, and I am convinced that they are serious over what they're doing. I wish them luck. Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about ASU, federal government ASU rift. We cannot overemphasize this issue. It's an issue that concerns all Nigerians. Because each day I wake up and I see our universities are shut, our children are at home, I am not comfortable, I'm not always happy. Mr. Speaker, admit some persons criticizing lecturers, criticizing ASU that they are the ones responsible for the continuous strike. I think those persons are not being real and fair to Nigerians. If the federal government is sincere, the federal government should come up to tell Nigerians that out of the demands, the so demands, 1, 2, 3, 4 demands of ASU, that they can only offer 1 or 2 or 3. Then we will see that the federal government is sincere in this negotiation. What we have seen the ASU demanding for, I think, is a germane advocacy which concerns all Nigeria. The revitalization of our universities, I think, is a germane advocacy, not minding things that are beneath this agitation. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to use this medium to urge the federal government that they should be circumspect in governance. They should play the fatherly role in this regard. Let them call the ASU leadership to the roundtable discussion once again. I urge the president also to initiate a new committee that will see to this issue that is going to be resolved soon.
Thank you very much, Parliamentarian. Let me come back to you, Parliamentarian Otuekong. Now, a lot has been said about Census, and of course, the Commissioner has spoken a lot about the need for all of us as Akwa Ibom people to be part of what is happening. I'd like to ask for your last take before we jump into the next motion on the floor of the House. Your last word to Akwa Ibomites concerning that.
Like we just heard from the Federal Commissioner of National Population Commission, Engineer Benedict Ukpong, not just head count of persons, the census that will be going on across the country will also give government the opportunity to know what each community lacks. Community lacks hospital, community lacks water, community lacks electricity, community lacks this, lacks that. It is when this census is done that this data will be collated and submitted to the government, so that when the government is planning, they can now be able to know that community A lacks this, community B wants that, and this wants this. So for me, it is a very important exercise that we should take to our heart. It is even, for me, more important than election, because even at the election, you will need this data. You need this number to create political words, to create polling units. I remember a particular year, I think 2011 election, where we had names like Peter Touch, like George Bush, like Mark Tyson on the list of voters in some states in the north. So I believe that if we are involved as a people, and we ensure that we mobilize our people from the villages to the ward level, to the local government level, and to the state, that we can get our proper data, and then we can now be counted and know how many we are, so that the state government can know how many we are, the federal government can know how many we are. Then when they are planning, they can now know how to allocate the resources in all these areas.
Well, let's quickly look at something I probably missed out. The role of politicians in ensuring that they also become part of the mobilizing force to gather the people up. Because I recall that if there is anything that made some parts of Mbo to be well taken care of, was the fact that some of the politicians rose up. I know even though the national staff that came up for the census had said if they don't see people, they won't count them. In areas where the respective political leaders stood up and said, no, you must account for the good number of people, whether or not they are there. they went the extra miles, made calls for them to verify those information, and those things were counted. But in area where you didn't have that level of political awareness or the political leaders or political players being actively involved, those things didn't come to pass. So what would you say would be the role of politicians and political office holders in ensuring that we achieve the maximum best success in the forthcoming census?
I'm happy that it is even coming in this eve of campaign for elections. So politicians should see it as a duty to mobilize your people, to mobilize your household, to ensure that you are involved, contribute your quota, get your people to be involved. Tomorrow you will need this figure, you need this number, you need these people to be able to vote for you. If you don't get these numbers mobilized and be counted and be recorded, so that tomorrow you can, if you want to ask for ward creations, for polling unit creation, for federal constituency creation, and state creation and the rest, you cannot have something to hang on. So I am calling on our political class, the elite, like you have just said, to be involved. And they should work hand in hand with the Census Commission, so that when these people are coming, you can now know the date they are coming. You will be able to disseminate the message to the people in the villages through the town crier that so day nobody should leave the house, that these people are coming for head count. And so where they come and the people are not in the homes, at least I believe that if they are going to a village, there should be people from the village or from the ward, like the politicians, who can now go with them to say, this house, if they go to the house, knock on the door and the people come out and somebody is not there, the village head should know that this house has a number of persons, and the villager can be able to tell them that in this particular family there are 7. So they have 7, maybe 3 female or 4 and 4 boys. Put that number, because the villages and the village head know how many each community persons they have.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Otuekong Franklyn. But right about now, we'll take a pause and head out to bring you the BBC Pidgin News. When we come back, parliamentarians, we will be concluding the rest of our sessions on the floor of the plenary this morning. Just stay with us.
This is Planet in partnership with the Pidgin Minute.
Na Ego and Helen, the transmission company of Nigeria, say they don't restore the national grid wey collapse early on Monday.
Monday incident caused the latest blackout inside the country. The national grid don't collapse more than 5 times this year alone.
World Health Organization say 18 confirmed cases and 18 possible cases of Ebola don't dey for Uganda since they declared outbreak last week.
Dem say 23 deaths happened for 3 districts of central Uganda. Inside 5 na confirmed cases.
Human rights campaigners say Iran don't arrest 20 journalists since anti-government protests break out across the country several weeks ago.
They don't also take activists and their lawyer into custody.
Access to the internet and social media don't they restricted.
Tyson Fury say in proposed heavyweight world title fight with Anthony Joshua for December no go happen again after him self-imposed deadline expire.
Fury been set Monday as deadline for Joshua.
But Joshua promoter Eddie Hearn come respond say no chance they until whether they go sign the contract by then.
Come join us online. bbc.com/pidgin.
Give me your hand and Independence Day! Ibom Icon Hotel and Golf Resort presents Independence Day Kids Party! We don't go Chico, featuring swimming, bouncing castles, face painting, indoor video games, PJ Masks, gift packs, games for mommies and daddies, Iconite comics, food and drinks, games and prizes, and lots more! Date, October 1st, Independence Day. Venue, the poolside of Ibom Icon Hotel and Golf Resort. Time, 12 p.m. prompt. Gate fee, 3,500 naira per child. Dress code, a little touch of green and white. For inquiries, call 0808 0527 411 or 0803 3440 654. Come, let's party! Nigeria will be great again.
The People's Parliament is brought to you courtesy of JIA Outdoor Services. JIA Outdoor Services, a member of the Mbarakas Group, owns and manages billboards and advertising services in and outside Akwa Ibom State. Why not visit them today or call this number 0803-741-2340. JIA Outdoor Services, a member of the Mbarakas Group.
Mabubu kirim jum iba, idam di bu ibanem jum ita. Bangutong kap, bangutong gup sembitang. Se ufotum Tab Media Group, Bunsine Planet FM Spectrum Television. Emanesium finito tam. Adama kiri tang 102.7 FM. Sinaman sasang tum ke korado ke ta freven bosebinam. Abido ki ko kanyan. Anyam ke sebo ki makara. All indigenous language radio station. Emena mebo Tab Media Group, Akwa Planet 101.1 FM, Ayori Baro Spectrum Television, Ayori Tarum, Tang 102.7 FM, Ekene Tang, Iyame, Bemkeriagado.
Chico, featuring swimming, bouncing castles, face painting, indoor video games, PJ Masks, gift packs, games for mommies and daddies, Iconite comics, food and drinks, games and prizes, and lots more. Date, October 1st, Independence Day. Venue, the poolside of Ibom Icon Hotel and Golf Resort. Time, 12 p.m. prompt. Gate fee, 3,500 naira per child. Dress code, a little touch of green and white. For inquiries, call 0808 0527 411 or 0803 3440 654. Come, let's party! Nigeria will be great again.
Welcome you back to the floor of the House. This is the People's Parliament. In case you're just joining us, we are gradually winding down to the end of the plenary this morning. And of course, we've had three major motions on the floor of the House. We talked about the National Census 2023 and the partnership between CLO, the media, and of course, the Akwa Ibom State Population Commission, alongside with stakeholders. And we've been informed there will be a stakeholders gathering at the Government House tomorrow where issues surrounding the 2023 census will be addressed. And of course, we're talking about INEC lifting ban on politics. Campaign is set for Wednesday, 28 September 2022. Unveils ground rules for hitch-free issue-based campaigns and, of course, what to expect. Before we jump into that, let me come to you, Parliamentarian Otuekong. One of the parliamentarians had asked a question as to your analysis concerning the different projects backed upon by this present administration and the issue where the emoluments of retired primary school teachers and their next of kin have not been paid, and yet you did not also mention that, alongside the Ibiaku one road that has been in a very sorry state, regardless of how much has been said about it. How would you react to this comment from parliamentarians?
Quite frankly, I want to say that the issue of the gratuities for the retired primary school teachers and their next of kin and those who have saved the government, we have been on it. We and the NLC, we are working with the NLC in this regard, and we have engaged the government. There was a time the government even set up a committee to verify, do head count, and know how many persons are actually, are entitled to this. There was a time the CLO even had to get involved, where some of when they were doing the next of kins to the retired primary school teachers, we are doing a protest at the government house gate, and they were harassed, and some of them were arrested. Our lawyers had to go in to get those persons out. We've been working with with their leadership of the next of kin to the retired primary school teachers who are deceased. So this matter is, is ongoing. Truth is, I used to ask myself, what were the previous government doing? Because you will see gratuity spanning back to 1992. You see gratuity spanning back to 2000. And at this period of time, you do not have this particular government in place, even though we know that the government have to inherit the asset and liability. I will still say that the government has tried. If the other government were doing the same thing as this government is doing in the area of payment of this gratuity, maybe by now we would have gone far. But having said this, we are calling on the governor to allocate a large sum of money to clear off this. If the government can do this in the remaining few months that he has, clear off this gratuity, it will be a big plus to him. He will be leaving the state, leaving us with a very remarkable achievement. Even if you do all this infrastructure, but you fail in the area of welfare, you have failed. Because the cardinal function of government is to provide welfare and security of your citizens. So the government can build skyscraper. If you don't have anyone to climb it, to work on it, then it's a failure. So I am calling on the governor to release more funds to clear off this gratuity so that we can have this matter put to rest under his government, and he will have it as an achievement that he has done when he was a governor of the state. On the issue of Ibiakuran Road, CLO has severally lamented. I go to mechanic from here. Each time I come here, I drive my car down here, I must go and change my tie rod, my ball joint, my brake pad because of the bad road. I must commend the management of Planet FM because Tony Afia has done so much in maintaining this road. But I think that the government should complete this road. There was a time we were talking about this road, the government came, they did a flag off of the road, but up to now, nothing is done. You can't even drive through from the Otuekong axis to this point. If you are driving in from the Itam axis, the Kalabari to highway, you must park your car on the road and use bike. So there is need for the state government to look into this Ibiakuran Road. You don't have an edifice like this that has created employment for the people of the state, that has also created the issue of investment that has brought in empowerment and development for a community like this, but you don't have access road. And this has, affected the growth of this station. So the governor should look into this particular project and know why the project has delayed till today.
All right, the issue of Ibiakuran Road has been a consistent one, and if, as a person who have used the road, you know that before the commencement of work, the Ibiakuran Road was far better than it is now. Recall that when the contractors came forward, they had to de-excavate or re-excavate the ground, and then, of course, took out the gutter that was much bigger than the one they've replaced. And that significantly, for those who are very conversant with the works done on road, has been said to be responsible for the gully erosion that is gradually getting to how it used to be before the road was completely cordoned off for usage. But I'll always like to reference the point that His Excellency has said that he's going to fix the road. He had promised the people of Ibiakuran, he has promised Planet Tavern Association that he's going to fix the road before he leaves office. He actually said he was going to commission it from Planet's entrance, and we're still hoping on that because even during the anniversary, His Excellency said that as a leader, you should do what you want to, or you should say the things that you are sure you are going to do. There should not be a disparity between what a leader says and what the leader does. So we are holding him accountable to his words, and we are still watching. The people of Ibiakuran are watching. Can
I just chip in something here? Roads are constructed for 3 reasons. 1, you must consider the economic viability of the road, the viability of the road. You must consider the political relevance of the road. You must consider the access it will give, whether it is going to give access to, to the river or to the bush. But here is a road that is talking about the economic viability. It brings you down to Planet FM. This is one of the first private stations that you have in this state, and that has been able to create employment. I wonder how you used to manage, the workers here used to manage to come down here. Because when it rains as it's raining today, if you want to use your bike, you will be soaked. So for the workers to be this dogged, to be coming to work, I think you people are really, committed. So the government should see that this particular Ibiakuran Road from Otuekong has its importance in the area of economic viability, the political relevance. This Uran is always in government. The speaker is from Uran local government area. So, and I believe that the people of Uran here they are supporting the government. So there's no need for this particular road to remain. Talk about politics, talk about the economic viability, talk about people who are living here. And it cut across about 2 or 3 local government areas from Uyo to Uran to Itu. So why can't it be done? So I think that there is need for His Excellency the Governor to raise a team to come and actually verify things and see what is actually on ground on this road. Because leaving it to the ministry to the Ministry of Works, this road will still be here and the government will go. But I pray that the governor will hear our cries and come to our aid.
Thank you very much. I will welcome more contributions from parliamentarians. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, the guests in the studio. Otuekong Franklyn.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for having me to this plenary. I'm corporate in the Masarautar Striker. At first, I want to say happy 25th anniversary for Akwa Ibom State. Now, on issues on the order paper this morning, National Census 2023 and a CLFO parleys for National Population Commission. I think I am in support of that because there is need for a national head count in Nigeria so that we can know the actual number of people in this country for proper national planning. Because the truth is that what we have been hearing is an estimated population, as no agency of government knows the actual population of this country or each state in this country or each local government area. Therefore, there is need for census because if Nigeria is planning for an estimated population of 200 million people, while we do not know that we have up to 400 million people, then there will be problems. So there is need for census, and I totally support it. Finally, on the decision of the federal government yesterday to withdraw and reverse their India directive that had ordered vice chancellors and pro-chancellors of federal universities to reopen public universities across the country and allow students to resume. To me, the government is confused and the government is taking too many confusing steps and actions that are not helping to resolve this 7-month ASU strike. And one thing is clear, that the standard of education in the country is dropping because of this continuous ASU strike. Therefore, I want to call on the federal government to meet the genuine demand of ASU so that this strike will be called off and our students will return back to school. I'm comrade in the Masarautar Striker. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, parliamentarians, for that passionate plea to the federal government. Of course, that is in line with the agitations and the prayers and wishes and aspirations of not just the Nigerian students, but also parents and all lovers of education, and including some leaders who are educationally inclined and know the value of education to the development of our dear country. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, the guest there, Otuekong, Isong.
Good morning,
sir. My name is Comrade Samuel Ene. I'm calling from Oran local government. Please, I want to speak on the issue of the dualization of Idet Oran Road. Please, with due respect, I'm pleading the state government. Please, I know Mr. Dom Emmanuel is a hearing governor. Please, let him complete that road for us so that we can use that road to remember him very well. And I want to also talk about the issue of ASU strike, because we need the federal government to pay ASU whatever their entitlement and what they demand for, so that we, as a student, we can go back to school. We have been here at home over how many months now? They should go over and solve this issue. It's not all about to tell the giving order. It's all about to swim into action, tell them, fine. No, even though that they cannot pay the certain amount, let them give them half of this, what they demand for, so that we can go back to school. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, parliamentarian. And of course, more contributions before we get back to the other motions on the floor of the House. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello?
Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. My name is Major Oban, calling from Sweden. Quickly, Mr. Speaker, I did not want to call this morning, but because of some statement that I said from your Otuekong. Trace, I think I would disagree with you. When you were asked about the issue of the Uran Road and the payment of a gratuity to retired teachers and next of things, you said that what was the former administration doing? That is to say, they took a step that this thing had not been like this. I think we don't get the information straight. That's a fallacy. Why am I saying so? During the administration of Atta, he paid 10 years. You can verify that from 1991 to 2000. Then Akwa paid from 2001 to 2010, 10 years. So when we hear that this administration saying that they start from 1997, those were spillovers, and it was 76 spillovers. And by that time, there was nothing like promotion. So the money, even after verification, there were some people that went back with 3,000, 5,000 after suffering for all those verifications. So we should set the record free, clear. This administration only, like next of thing, they started payment from 2004, getting to 2005. They have not paid up to a year. Then for the retired teachers, they started payment from 2011 and up to now. They are still in 2011. They have not paid up to a year. Okay, how much is the total indebtedness? Close to 38 billion. And you only release 850 million and also 1 billion. Is it up to even like dropping this thing in the ocean? What are we saying? I don't think that this thing should be affiliated to the government. You have been compromising with the government. I can allege that. Then on this sort of issue, I beg federal government, please, they should make sure that children are gotten back to school. What?
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian. Over to you, Otuekong Franklyn, to respond.
Well, in as much as I'm not holding brief for the government, I state the obvious. That is why I said we are working with the NLC. NLC is the mother body for every union that is in the state, that is of the public service. For the records that I will know, we've seen persons whose gratuity have not been paid spanning from the 90s. So if the past government of Akwa Semen, the government of those who came, whether school administrators or Atta and Akpabio, had been so committed as we are asking this government to be, I think by now we would have cleared off this issue. And I remember, and I stand by that. Government that comes on board will be inheriting the asset and liability. If Otuekong government had cleared this gratuity, I don't think Akpabio will come and inherit it or inherit any. If Akpabio had cleared the gratuity, I don't think today Udom will be coming to inherit it. And if we don't clear the gratuity, next government that will come on board will be inheriting gratuity from this year. That is my point. So the governor should clear off this gratuity so that next government that come on board will not be having issues of backlog of gratuity in the state.
All right, let's move away to the issue where INEC has unveiled ground rules for hitch-free issue-based campaigns, and according to the electoral umpire, a code of conduct guiding activities has been issued by the INEC, and the commissioner has warned that a political message or slogan must not be tainted with abusive languages, direct or indirectly, likely to injure religious, ethnic, tribal, or sectional feelings. INEC also said abusive, intemperate, slanderous, or base language or innuendos designed or likely to provoke violent reactions or emotions shall not be employed or used in political campaign. The electoral umpire further warned incumbent political office holders against using the power of incumbency to deny opposition parties access to public facilities for campaigns. The commission said such actions was illegal and would attract sanctions as spelled out in the Electoral Act 2022. And now this was made known by INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and he gave the warning during a sensitization forum for broadcasters and stakeholders on fair and responsible coverage of the 2023 general elections organized by the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, in Abuja. Now, I gives credence to what a statement I saw earlier this morning, credited to the immediate outgone Resident Electoral Commission in Akwa Ibom, said Barrister Mike Igini, where he said government officials should not, as a matter of urgency, prevent other political aspirants from using state-owned facilities, including the media, in their campaign in the forthcoming elections. Now, the issue of abusive words, the issue of inciting comments from politicians has also been validly raised. Now, I know that over time we've been talking about the need for us to have an electioneering period that we do not get to see the level of animosity, the level of anger and violence as we used to see in days past. How would you react to this statement coming from INEC? Is it timely, and what are its implications for the people?
Mr. Speaker, I would be indifferent. Reason is that we've been having such, warnings in the past elections, and they will be violated, and nobody will be sanctioned. Politicians are used to the normal. The normal is that the mudslinging, the using of foul languages, the hate speeches, and the rest. They are also used to ballot box snatching and vote buying. We've seen this, we've seen several warnings, and nothing has happened. Until somebody is prosecuted, and we all see that this person is prosecuted and convicted on account of either using of foul language or vote buying or committing any of the malpractices listed out by INEC, this the temple will still remain as it used to be. Now, what I expect the INEC to do and the security agencies to do is to convoke a stakeholders meeting at the state level where all the political parties will come and undertake to conduct their campaign peacefully without using of hate speeches, without using of foul language, without going against the guideline listed out by INEC. They sign, they agree to abide by it. That peace accord is what I want to see. When this is done, then we can now be able to see if INEC will enforce it. Not just coming to speak about it. We've had pre and post electoral violence committee set up by former President Goodluck Jonathan, and the report up to today we've not seen. Even though the report is there, it has not been implemented. Nobody knows who has been convicted or arrested on account of violence. What happened in Akwa Ibom State in 2011 is such that if we are to go back to history, many persons would have been in prison today. But just because it is business as usual, they will INEC will let it go, and the security agents will let it go. But now that the INEC has come out and it is in our electoral act that anybody that uses uses foul language or you go against the act will be sanctioned. I wait to see how this will be done. What I expect the parties to do in their messages is to sell their blueprint, their manifesto, tell us what you will do in the area of security, education, economy, health, agri, and the rest. Leave the rest. Leave your opponent. Don't go and be telling me how your opponent is not fit by virtue of age, by virtue of his position also. Don't tell me his past record. You speak about yourself. Tell us what your party manifesto is and how you intend to achieve this. And above this, I want to see debate amongst party aspirants coming out to tell us what you have in stock. And then the people will now scrutinize your agenda, your blueprint, and then we can now get the best man amongst all of them being hired for the top job.
All right, thank you. More contributions from parliamentarians as we gradually get to the close. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, Otuekong in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, parliamentarian.
This is David, calling from Ibom. I'm very happy with the session of today. The discussion made today, I'm very happy. This is what I want to say. I congratulate Akwa Ibom on their 35th anniversary. And I'm very happy that we have come to everything to remain as we are today, alive. I will give thanks to Governor Victor Jack, who has fought seriously for the funds of this Ibom State to be used to develop this state. And I am not very pleased with some of those invited to commission the project, because some of them who are coming here to speak are those who were trying within their possibility to block money which Akwa Ibom State should have to develop the state. And it is a blow to to me and to many quite minded who may understand what I'm saying, and I blow your bone to die in hell. So I am very happy, and what I want to say now is that the commissioning of many projects in this very state does not favor very many parts of the state, especially in Ibom, where I come from. I believe Ibom is the largest local government in this state. There is nothing to show about. Only one village where the paramount is living, and that very village is not even constructed at all. Only where the paramount is living is being constructed by its government.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarian, for joining us. That happens to be our very last caller for today. And yes, one comment just dropping in. Parliamentarian Mbiatke Ubong Udoidian says, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us. Since the network has been quite unfair to have some of the comments dropping in, but be that as it may, we'll still take them probably tomorrow if we get to see your comment and network allows it to drop. But before we go, Parliamentarian Otuekong, Franklyn, your last take on the other issues.
My last take is that we should all be involved in the National Population Commission's housing census that will be done in April 2023. The federal government, ASU Palava, the federal government should take steps to resolve this issue with its employees. ASU should also shift grants so that the universities can be reopened. Then I have issue with the Uyo Village Road. I drove there this morning. I could not drive through. The road is becoming gradually caving in because of the refuse that has become a menace in the area. I am calling on my friend, Prince Ikim, and his agency to do something about that road, the Minister of Environment, to come into that road and ensure that that road is, rehab and brought back to how it used to be. Finally, Akwa at 35, I'm happy that we are moving forward. The state is not stagnant. Let us go ahead and play politics without bitterness, politics without malice, without strife, and let's not use hate speech as INEC will lift campaign from tomorrow going forward.
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian Otuekong, for always coming through. And yes, I appreciate you, parliamentarians, for always making deliberations on the floor of the House rewarding and successful. Thank you for those of us who join us via the Facebook page and those of us who've streamed live at Planet Radio to be part of today's plenary session. I'd like to allow us or tell us or remind us that until we all take it very personal and become very intentional about our actions and being involved in different government activities, we will continue to miss out as a people. So be part of preparations for Census 2023. Get yourself prepared for the elections come 2023 so that we can have leaders who have the overall interest of the people at heart. My name is Francis Edet, and by the power vested on me as the Speaker of this Parliament, I hereby declare today's plenary session officially closed. God bless you, and God bless Akwa Ibom, and wishing you a very beautiful day ahead. Bye-bye.